Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning into the recording today. I'm excited to have Dr. Jennifer Lyerly and Dr. Darryl Glover from Defocus Media. Hey guys, and today we're talking about how to improve your capture rate and your optical sales as well. If you don't know who Dr. Jennifer Lyerly is, she's an optometrist practicing with custom contact lenses in Cary, North Carolina. And in 2011, she founded the Idolatry blog, and it's a website with over 100,000 monthly visitors, dedicated to ocular health and patient communication. And in 2017, she was recognised as Young Alumni of the Year from Southern College of Optometry. And she's passionate about using social media to help connect optometrists with patients and grow the scope and reach of the profession. So welcome, Dr. Lyerly.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And Dr. Darryl Glover is a global optometrist, speaker, entrepreneur, and social media expert. And he's served the optometric industry for over 20 years in nearly every position, including eyewear consultant, optometric technician, office manager, and optometrist. And he's written for several articles for prestigious optical outlets and interviewed countless individuals in the optical industry. And he's the co-host of the #1 podcast, the Defocus Media podcast, and sits on the Essilor Future Insight Advisory Committee. And Dr. Glover strongly believes that education, resources, and legislation can help with the ultimate doctor-patient experience. So thanks so much, Dr. Glover.
Thank you for having me. I'm extremely excited and pumped up, man. We're going to have a good time today.
You bet. That's great. And so in the past, optical dispensing was almost like a given, and patients would finish their appointment and nearly everyone would buy frames and lenses from you, and now it's not so much a given. And could you run through what's changed in optometry?
I think especially in the US marketplace, but we've seen these trends kind of globally as the demands on the healthcare sector got higher and patients were used to the idea that insurance would cover pretty much everything. They would go out to optical, they'd get a pair of glasses covered by their insurance. We all know that's not how vision plans work. In fact, we've kind of as an industry gone about trying to change the idea that this is even vision insurance and instead say, oh, this is a discount plan to try to help change the patient's mindset of what's going to happen. But as patients go out to optical and they're finding, oh, I'm not having covered lenses, and in fact, the discount that I'm being given for my glasses might still cost me $400 or $500. Suddenly, there's that value cost that they have to decide upon. Are these glasses worth my several $100s, or I'm being actively advertised online, on TV, when I go onto social media about glasses for $30, $75, $99, and it kind of goes out the wayside that they might even want to use their insurance at this point to help in the purchase of glasses. So that's really kind of eroded and undermined the idea that they'll purchase all the time from your optical.
For sure. And Dr. Glover, what do you think has changed of late in the optical industry?
Yeah, I think one of the key things is definitely insurance. I think just the amount of money that optometrists and eye care professionals get reimbursed, being that it's so small now, they have to see more patients, or at least they feel they have to see more patients, which we don't, it causes us not to have enough time in the exam room to sit down and really truly educate the patient on, what's going to be the ideal frame of choice, what's going to be the ideal lens of choice. And then also online, you have these disruptors out there that sell eyewear, as Jen had mentioned. So I think it's a combination of insurance and just the disruptors that are out there in the industry.
I think, Darryl, you nailed it. In the past, we didn't have to explain why the glasses cost what they cost. It was just a given. Glasses cost this much. But now, as people undermine that through online disruptor technology and things like that, the fact that we weren't educating and discussing it, it's kind of come back to haunt us a bit, and we're trying to play catch up on everything.
Absolutely. One key thing that people always miss out on the importance of is that refraction, Jen. I mean, if we really sit down and educate how we're finding that prescription and educating them on why they need, several pairs of glasses, whether they're computer, general purpose, prescription suns, special hobby glasses, whatever it may be, it'll make a world of difference with the patient interaction and also just that capture rate in general as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. It's that education is really important. So thinking about some of the newer technologies, Dr. Lyerly, before we were chatting in this video, you were talking about how you like to use your phoropter in a clever way to educate patients.
So when we're talking about new technology coming in, I think refraction is one of the things that people are really eating on as far as an attack from disruptors in the online sector. The phoropter is so outdated. I do have patients that have said to me when I come in and start pulling the phoropter over, oh, you're using that? I don't think this is going to be accurate for me. You know, like online disruptors have done a great job undermining our traditional tools in optometry. So what I'm doing now is the same tools you guys already have, which is your autorefractor. Patient has the autorefractor done during their normal workup. They come into the room, I'm pulling the phoropter over, but before I do so, I make sure I say, so in the other room, you did a computer scan that gives us an estimate of what your prescription will be today. But I want to show it to you and get your opinion on feedback and see if we need to even fine detail tune that even more. And then I pull the phoropter over. Suddenly, I've tied my same old standard piece of equipment. I don't have an automated phoropter, by the way. I just have run-of-the-mill, looks like it came from 1970 kind of phoropter. And, that pushback is completely gone because I've turned it into something that still incorporates that technology. It's just a little trick that you guys can use in your own offices.
Love that tip. That's great.
Yeah. And, something else, just to kind of circle back on something you had touched on before. We mentioned, insurance, disruptive technology, but the ultimate thing that's really causing the change when it comes to capture rate is marketing. Like Jen had mentioned, they see all these things online, or they'll go to a certain practice and they have an automated phoropter, and it's just the way that company has been able to market that equipment, and that makes a world of difference. So us as optometrists, we have to become better marketers, and that definitely needs to take place whenever we're doing a refraction. So when you do a refraction, you have to break down everything, from the uncorrected visual acuities to corrected visual acuities to their lifestyle, to their height. Do they have longer arms, shorter arms? What type of glasses do they need? What are they using them for? You have to break down all those pieces of how you're finding that prescription and educate the patient that, it's just not a matter of one or two. I'm actually factoring several things that's going to give you the ultimate prescription so you can see the sharpest and also just improve your quality of life.
You bet. And Dr. Glover, with the lifestyle questions, what are some of your favourite questions to ask that really help people to open up and share more about themselves?
Well, I have this thing I call a 2-minute rule. Whenever a patient walks into my exam room, I don't even talk anything at all about eye care. Yeah. All I ask them is what's going on with them for that day or for the weekend, or what they have going on for the week. And I let them just basically talk about their entire lifestyle and what they have going on. And that basically feeds into what type of glasses I need to prescribe. For example, I could spend 30 seconds and someone can tell me, oh, I'm going to my son's baseball game. And we go every weekend. And it's outside, and it's across town. So automatically, I know several things just from that. Number one, the mom needs some type of sunglasses to help protect the eyes whenever they're outside. Number two, the son needs daily contact lenses simply because it's going to be more comfortable for the kid and healthier whenever they're outside in that dirt, and just they're able to dispose of them afterwards. And then also maybe even talk to them about some computer glasses, being that it's a kid, because we all know kids are using digital devices, and the same thing with the mom. So ultimately from there, I've been able to just break down, 2, 3, 4 different pairs of glasses by just talking to them about what they have going on for the week. And I'm not even pushing anything. I'm solving a problem indirectly by just listening to my patients. And it makes a world of difference.
Absolutely. That listening, it's so invaluable for optometrists nowadays.
Absolutely.
You're building that rapport too. So for the patient, you're taking that time to learn about them. But of course, we're learning about them for a greater purpose, because that's how we're going to figure out how we can help you. I ask my patients, what do you do for fun? What do you do for work? And it's like, yes, I want to know your careers and your loves and your passions and all that stuff too. But I want to dial in to understand, like, your indoor and outdoor lighting setups. How many screens are you looking at work? How long are you on the computer during the day? Without asking specifically those questions like, are you on the computer during the day? How many hours in front of a computer do you spend? That feels kind of candid and personal after a while. You need to get that information, but in a conversational way.
Absolutely. That's
Everyone likes to talk about themselves. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. Everybody wants to be the rock star, the superstar, a Hollywood actor, actress. Everyone wants to be on that pedestal. So just let someone talk about themselves. That's all you have to do. People just want to run their mouth and tell them how great they are.
Tip. They're giving you that information. Do not ask them like you've never met them before next year. So document in the chart what they've told you about their hobbies and what they do for work. So next year, it's like you remembered, those 2 minutes that you spent.
Yeah. Even with that, Jen, I always document the kids' names or how many kids they have, where they work, where they like to take vacations, what their hobbies are, stuff like that, because it's good conversation prior to walking into the exam room. That way you have something to engage with them and get that intimate relationship with them as well. So I always document. And even my staff, they know to look in a certain area to see the notes that I've written about the patient. It could be good notes, it could be bad notes. They know how to be prepared for the patient. If there was something we jacked up last year, we know that we need to have gentle hands with them and just make the examination beyond their expectations to make up for last year if we jack something up. So it's really important to document the conversation that you had, so you don't go in looking like a complete idiot, saying the same thing over and over, as Jen had mentioned.
Yeah, you bet. It's really important to talk to patients and to ask them. But really, if you're looking to improve your capture rate, it's also relying on that rapport that you built up over many years, that you've developed that relationship, the person. So if you're looking to improve your capture rate, just refer back to your previous notes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you in on a little secret. I think one reason why I have an extremely high capture rate and I have a good relationship with my patients, and I'm very passionate about the doctor-patient interaction. And a lot of people say I'm crazy for doing this, but when I'm in the exam room with the patient, I don't look at the time. I don't look at their insurance. I educate them what I think is going to be the best option for them and how it's going to satisfy their lifestyle. And I just go from there. And if they're like, Dr. Glover, that's a lot of glasses, it's going to cost me a lot of money, I don't care. It's up to you. It's your money, how you're going to spend it. But I'm trying to give you the ultimate pair of glasses, the ultimate health care. And this is how we're going to be able to get it. This is how I'm going to treat my mother, my sister, my wife, my best friend, whoever it may be. You're no different from them when you're sitting in this chair. So I never look at any of that stuff. And then I take them up front and I educate the staff or my team that I'm working with. And they kind of just recap everything from there. And I've been extremely successful with having a high capture rate just by doing that.
It sounds like an awesome experience coming to see you for an appointment. Just having that personal one-on-one, human-to-human connection.
Yeah.
Hey, Darryl, what is your capture rate?
My capture rate last time I was in the States when I was looking at it was about 84% for eyewear.
I think everyone can agree that's high. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm great with multiples too, because again, when you start digging into the lifestyle, it makes a world of difference.
For sure. And another thing that was useful is if we model our own frames as well. If everyone in the office wears frames.
Absolutely. You have to always wear glasses in the office. Everyone in the office needs to wear glasses. I don't care if you wear contacts. Wear computer glasses over your contacts. Let your patients see what you're preaching about all day. You as an optometrist, your team members, you have to practice what you preach. And everyone in the office should wear glasses. Everyone in the office should experience the different types of anti-reflective coating. Everyone in the office should experience the different types of transitions that are available, from the Extra Active to the Vantage to the Signature 7, and some new colors that are coming out as well. Everyone needs to know exactly what's going on. You see, us as eye care professionals, what we tend to do and why the capture rate tends to go low is because we only prescribe 50%. 50% meaning we do everything for medical. If it's dry eye, we know that we need to do dry eye treatment. If it's glaucoma, we know we need to do glaucoma treatment. If it comes to a refraction, myopia, hyperopia, we're like, here, go. No, tell them exactly what they need, what type of frame, what type of lens. Make sure you're prescribing 100%, not just half with the medical aspect, but you also have to look at the retail aspect to put the entire picture together for the patient.
Absolutely, yeah.
The trap we fall into and why it's so important to wear glasses, I think, as the doctor in the office, many of us are guilty of this, and I know our patients are guilty of this. We think, oh, my prescription didn't change, I don't need glasses, right? Now think about the average person that's past their growing age years. How much does their prescription change It's not. They're not changing by enough to legally need new glasses every year unless there's some sort of medical condition going on. We're talking a quarter here, a quarter there. Some people can't even perceive those differences. So what I have to do in order to make sure my patients are getting that real experience and value of being with me in the exam and in the optical is explain to them what technology can I offer them that they don't have in their current eyewear, what solutions are there to problems that that one pair of eyewear doesn't provide for, okay, that's their everyday multi-purpose, and then create a want for a new style, new look, new trends. So that's why wearing kind of interesting, fun frames, an eyewear frame with a story, like a frame line that you can passionately believe in and talk about, that's so important because the patient, more than likely, if you're only depending on people with big prescription changes where they legally need to get new glasses to pass a driver's test, you'll be lucky if that's 10% of people coming through the door.
Yeah, you bet. That's
Absolutely.
definitely a tough market.
And the other thing that you want to look at too, Jen, is you want to be the hero. I don't want someone to go to another doctor and they had a quarter change and they educated them about some blue light protection or something like that. And I was like, oh, there was really no change in your prescription. You lose out. So be the hero in every scenario. So always give different options. Give patients options and let them decide which route they want to go.
Absolutely, and Darryl, if you can understand your patient better, if you can really and relay it back to them and tell them who you're seeing them to be, then that level of understanding just goes so far in improving your capture rate and suggestions for the patient.
Absolutely. I mean, something that I think really changes the game when it comes to capture rate, and I know we talked about this offline earlier, is the trial frame. Your trial frame is invaluable in the exam room. Holding a loose lens, even if it's a quarter step, I always tell folks, put your glasses on. This is the change. Hold a quarter over. Do you like that? Yes, it makes a big difference. That's the change that you have today. So that's what you're going to get when you get the glasses. Makes a world of difference. You never know what someone's going to take truly. So let them be the one that's going to determine whether or not. On top of that, something else that you want to look at, I know we were talking about this before, even if there's not a change in the prescription, you always want to look at the lenses. I mean, every year someone's going to have scratches on their lenses, so there's no reason for someone to have scratched lenses. It's going to cause more issues when they're driving at night with glare. Cosmetic-wise, it's not going to look the best. So there's always a reason for someone to update their eyewear.
Absolutely. And
going back to the trial frame, I know we were talking earlier, I think that's a real key of how your capture rate is so high because you do trial frame the prescription. I will especially do it for my second pairs. Okay, so computer glasses designed for a craft or sewing or things like that. I have them sit down in front of the computer in my office. Okay, I'll get about the place you usually sit. Sometimes I'll even pull up a website that they look at during the day that they have trouble with. The patients take this real seriously. They measure themselves out like, oh, this feels about right. Sometimes I'll adjust my stool. They mimic it as much as possible. It's as if I went home with them, right? And then I put the trial frame in what I'm thinking, and I'll loose lens hold a quarter here, a quarter there. Sometimes if I see a little exo or ESO when I do cover tests, I'll even show them a little bit of prism, see how they respond to it. And patients are wowed by that. It's a few extra minutes, but they just sold themselves that second pair of glasses because they experienced it, they took them off, and they were like, wow, I obviously need this.
It's that moment when they smile and they say, just, wow, I can see everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Darryl, we've got a question from the audience. What frames are you wearing at the moment? Can you share?
Oh yeah, right now I'm wearing RVS eyewear. This is made by Vidal RVS eyewear. He actually just opened up his shop, I think, last year or 2 years ago in New York. And he's an independent eyewear designer. Very cool guy. He started off collecting rare vintage sunglasses. And then he just came up with the concept, hey, let me design eyewear. All of his frames are handmade down to the point of the screws. He actually has the factory hand paint each screw red to give it just more of that individual wow character, more flair to the frame. And all his frames are also matte as well. So they feel great. They look great. They give you that wow factor, especially when you're in an exam room, but also when you're out in the public. I mean, it makes a world of difference. If someone sees you with cool glasses, they're always going to come up to you and say, hey, where'd you get your glasses? Oh, come see me. I'm Dr. Glover. This is my office. You win, right? But RBS eyewear to answer your question there.
That's awesome. And Dr. Lyerly, how about yourself? What are you wearing at the moment?
I'm wearing, these are Etnia Barcelona. It's a really awesome, colorful frame line that many of you might have heard of. It is also Independent Island, our eyewear brand out of Spain. This is one where I really like to talk to patients because sometimes they're afraid of color. So I like to wear a little bit of color to get them willing to experiment and have fun in optical. I could wear a black or a tortoise frame every single day. It goes with all my wardrobe, right? But like, I think it helps plant the seed for like, oh, I have a basic pair of glasses, but gosh, then that's fun to have like a fun pair of glasses. So I kind of skew more towards having loud, colorful, discussion topic kind of glasses to show people like you're not going to look crazy wearing them and you don't have this in your wardrobe. Eyewear wardrobe. That's a big thing that I've learned from optician Sheena Taft. She always uses that phrase when she talks about glasses, and I've started using it with my own patients. And it's like, oh, we're going out there and shopping for shoes. Like, make this fun.
Yeah, you bet.
Absolutely. Yeah. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing some Oakley frames. Yes, I'm well due to update and get some new ones. So I'll have to go and browse the optical a bit again.
But Leah, I can see you're wearing your blue blocker glare coating, which is a great conversation starter.
Yeah,
right.
Do you love to talk about blue blocking, Dr. Lyerly?
I do. So most of my patients, I have an extremely young patient base where I practice in North Carolina. Our average patient age is actually around 30. So the complaints that they have, I mean, I've got it. I like hear it in my sleep sometimes, but it's always like my eyes feel tired. I have a pain behind my eyes, ocular migraines. I always have headaches. I can't see when I drive home at night. Most of these people are basically plano, maybe with a minus quarter to 0.5 cil, maybe, like minus a quarter myopia or something like that. What their real problem is looking at a computer screen all day and the accommodative lag issues that creates, the light sensitivity that's creating. And if I don't prescribe blue light protection in my glasses solutions, they're going to pick up their minus quarter glasses and be like, these are, they're not going to do anything. So I have to put that extra mile into almost every pair of glasses that I write because I know they're not going to be wowed by the prescription itself.
You bet. Yeah, that's great. Like you said before, like maybe 10% of people might need a prescription change in the demographic that you're talking about. So if you can think of different ways to suggest this is going to really help you for this, or I like this feature, it's going to really help your capture rate.
We have to create that conversation around what we're doing that's different, because especially in this patient bracket too, they're minus a quarter glasses. Some insurance plans don't even cover that. If I write a minus a quarter anti-fatigue lens with blue blocker coating, that might not be a covered pair of glasses at all. And so when they get up to optical and are faced with the entire, their insurance didn't provide any discounts, and they're not prepared for the value of why I want them to have those glasses, that's not going to go very well. So all the onus is on me as the doctor in that prescription.
And, it's not just millennials that love technology. Everyone loves technology. So why not talk about all the amazing technology that we have out there? I mean, there's so many cool lens options and choices out there that we really need to take ownership and really educate our patients about it. Because if not, we're not doing them justice, and we're actually not doing our job as optometrists or eye care professionals.
Yeah, you bet. It's that the onus falls to us to. There's so much more that we can explore with our patients now, and it's a great opportunity to have that discussion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks are, scared with all this disruptive technology out there, but I feel like we're in a good time because there are a lot of lens options. There are a lot of cool disruptive technology that we can actually utilize if we actually look at how we can implement it into our practice. But I'm really excited about what's going on in today's society, and I can't wait to see, 4 or 5 years down the road how the optometric industry is going to change, because it's bound to change. And the question is, are you going to change with it, or are you going to, stay back in the day and lose all your money and lose your practice and lose your house and have an upset wife or husband, So you need to get with times that are changing, man, and embrace this technology and use it to your advantage.
You bet, absolutely. And just talking about technology, before patients actually come in to see you, how do we start educating them about some of the new technologies that we're offering?
Yeah, social media. Social media is it. That's the first connection. That's the key. You have to have some type of social media presence. If you do not have social media in today's society, you might as well go jump off a bridge. I mean, don't go jump off a bridge. That might have been wrong to say, but no, seriously, you need to have some type of social media. Simply because social media, there's so many things you can do. Number one, you can educate your patients about what's new in the office. Number two, you can play around with some type of new product that you may be thinking about bringing to your office. For example, you can go to somewhere like the Vision Expo, pull out maybe the RVS eyewear collection and show your patients on maybe Facebook Live, or take a picture of it on your Instagram and say, hey, what do you think of this designer? Should we bring this to our office? And see what kind of feedback you get without having to invest in that entire collection and bring it to your office. And it might not even sell at all, but at least you can kind of see what your patient and demographic is wanting. But social media is definitely the first point to connect with your patients and truly develop a good, solid foundation for that doctor-patient interaction.
You bet.
Totally agree, and I will counter a little bit. Social media is one aspect of it, but let's say this is like a foreign world for you. You can still really reach patients in a lot of different variety of ways. Your website, blogging, writing articles, even those little magazines that are free at the grocery store in your local community, writing stuff for that. Basically, the key is getting what you do and why it's important out there, and whatever avenue you feel is best. Because the study after study has shown patients are coming into our exams telling us what they want. And so half the battle is in educating the patients before they ever come in and sit in your chair about what they should be asking for. 69% of millennials, which is kind of our age bracket and most of the patients' ages that we're seeing, come in requesting a certain treatment or solution, whether it's a blue blocker lens or computer glasses or some such. And you would think like, oh, that's a slam dunk. They're asking me for the technology, right? But then I have to deliver on the back end and make sure that I'm explaining maybe that technology is not the right solution for them. Maybe they need this other sort of thing. So just because they're coming in primed knowing they want a solution, the education still falls on us to make sure it's the right solution for them, and that if it is the right solution, we educate the value of why they need to have it. So we're lucky in that so many people are needing eye care needs, right? 70% of millennials have digital eye strain and tired eyes at the end of the day. That's the most common sort of feeling. And I think many of us can understand why almost all people are saying that. But myopia rates are up by 66% from the 70s. So the rate of people needing eye care and even just vision correction is through the roof compared to generations before us. But are we taking advantage of the fact that our patients desperately need us?
You bet. Yeah, and the device use is only going to get more and more over time as well. So that's where we've got a key role there.
Yeah. And also think about this too. Just think about all the kids, like from 1 to about 12, 15 years old. I mean, these kids, they were born with basically a tablet or something. As soon as they came out, they gave them a tablet along with it, so with the kids. So, I mean, it's like one of those things that you really have to not only look at the millennial and the older age bracket, but also just those kids. I mean, that's a great opportunity to set them up with a pair of transitions. You set them up at an early age, then you don't have to worry about as they get older, trying to force them and tell them that it's a cool thing. It's one of those things that they're going to be used to, just like anti-reflective coating. In my personal opinion, and Jen, tell me if you feel the same way, I feel like every time you write out a prescription, of course, they should have anti-reflective coating, but they should also have transitions as well. It just makes sense.
I think that's another kind of trick I feel bad about saying trick because we're not trying to trick anybody, like tool. So, okay, how do I kind of try to increase my capture rate? Don't fall victim to the way vision plans try to tell us how to sell glasses. Because if you look at how a vision plan breaks things down, is this copay for the lenses? Is this copay for the frame? Is this copay for the AR coating? And this for the UV blocker? They need all of those things, right? So when my opticians and I'm explaining solutions about I want this, so that the patient needs, my opticians present everything as one total complete package. Now, if at the end of everything, the patient's like, break that down for me. Okay, we can go into bits and pieces and talk about it in more detail. But I'm not writing a prescription for a plastic pair of glasses without anti-reflective coating. My prescription's for this whole entire bundle. So my opticians need to present it as a whole entire bundle right from the start.
Yep. And something that you can do also to just emphasize that is make sure you print it out on the actual prescription as well. Write down exactly what you are prescribing, and also get out the habit of recommending. I don't recommend anything. I prescribe. You
Yeah.
know, if you recommend something, I mean, like if you go to a doctor's office and they say, I recommend these antibiotics, you're going to look at that physician like they're crazy. So why would you, as an optometrist, say, I recommend you to get this anti-reflective coating or this blue light protection? No, you prescribe it and you put it on that prescription so they can see this is what Dr. Glover prescribed. This is what Dr. Lyerly prescribed. And then you give them the reason why you prescribe it as well. And then again, you're solving a problem indirectly. You're not selling something to someone, you're solving a problem. And that's what we do as eye care professionals.
You bet. It's the confidence that you've asked all the questions, you know the patient really well, so therefore here's the prescription for you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's been great to have a chat with you guys today. There's been so much that I've gleaned from these interviews, and yeah, thank you both for sharing your enthusiasm for your practices and for optometry.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Lee. It's such a pleasure.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, don't forget to tell everyone, Lee, or I'll tell them, you're actually on our podcast coming up in a couple of weeks. And we touched on everything from optometry in Australia to social media, practice management, you name it. And it's a lot of good jewels. So we want everyone to tune in to the Defocus Media podcast when we have you on there as well.
Absolutely. And that's on iTunes, the iTunes store.
iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. We're about to get on Spotify as well. You can go to the website, defocusmedia.com, and you can consume it any kind of way you want, but we're pretty much everywhere.
Absolutely. And what's the best way to follow Defocus Media on social media?
Just go to our Instagram page, Instagram/Defocus Media. Our handle is Defocus Media pretty much on all platforms, from Twitter to Instagram to Facebook. We keep it simple because we want you to follow us, and we're going to continue to hit you with great content. With Defocus Media, we just want to make sure that we give a platform for eye care professionals to talk about how great optometry is and how we can help enhance the profession as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And Dr. Lyerly, how about yourself? What's your personal Instagram?
Well, in addition to finding me on Defocus, I'm also at idolatry_blog on Instagram. That's where I go on more of my women optometry diatribes. so if you're feeling like a need for some female empowerment, usually you can at me at idolatry_blog for that conversation, but sometimes I bleed that over into Defocus too.
I love it. It's great to get that.
You want to know something that I never give out, which is people look at me like I'm odd, but I don't like to impact my following. I never give out my practice social media handles to other eye care professionals. I always try to only save that for patient base, because with these algorithms and stuff, your friends will be able to see your page, and I don't want just eye care professionals seeing my I See Euphoria page. Yes. Now with Defocus Media, I tell everyone about it because for Jen and I, that's more business to business instead of business to consumer. But I think that's one thing that a lot of eye care professionals tend to not do a great job of is they target eye care professionals instead of actual consumers, patients, and they tend to get lost in the sauce because they're not going to get that many views or likes or something that's really going to convert into an actual exam or something like that as well. But that's just me. What do I know?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's about sharing the real stories that people relate to. So, yeah, I like that. That's a good point. So yeah, by all means, check out Defocus Media on the website,
Absolutely.
Social media, Instagram, and the Defocus Media podcast as well. It's a great podcast. So
thanks. I hope you have us back, man. We really enjoyed this show, man. And we're avid listeners and followers of everything that you do. And I think it's very cool that, we're actually in 3 different time zones, which people probably don't know right now. Jen is out in North Carolina. I'm actually in Lagos, Nigeria, and you're out in Australia. And it's about 11 p.m. here. And what time is it where you're at?
I'm at 8 a.m. I'm just about to head off to the office. And how about for you?
Oh, so you need to get off.
So you got breakfast, dinner, and a midnight snack going on right
there
now.
There you go. Awesome.
Oh, well, it'd be wonderful to have you guys on again soon. It's been a lot of fun today. So thank you so much for joining us.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Cheers.